Hello, how's it going? Are we ready to start reading the guide ahead story? So I'll wait just maybe a minute or two to see, give enough time for anyone else who's interested to tune in. So the goal for the stream is to read as much of the story as I can, and I'm kind of hoping to get as close to the end as I can within roughly 3 hours. So that is the goal for this stream. And then I am not entirely sure if I'm gonna do if I don't finish the story, if I'll do another stream or not. We'll have to see and talk about it at the end, but start things off in reading the story. So how about we get started? And I have my list ready here, so if anything for the event story stands out to you, just let me know if you want me to look at a scene that we just read once again. And we'll see if I have enough time to do the various different clip ideas, because I have no idea how long the story is, so I'm going in blind here. So goes without saying, no major spoilers if you can. I'm not super big on spoilers, but if there is any events that are much more enjoyable going into it blind, I would greatly appreciate it if you would refrain from saying any spoilers. So without further ado, let's get started. And we're going from GA-1 here. So starting off with before the battle here. Hello, Mei Mei. Nice to see you here. And we get to see the Brown Tails get reintroduced into another story, so that's nice to see them again. So I'm just going to play it on auto, and like with my previous guide ahead stream, if you have any ideas on how you would prefer me to do the various different story scenes, I am not going to read line for line, but if there's any other ideas you would have for me that you would like me to do, just let me know. So I'm just gonna have it play on ×1. Yeah, the brown tails are in here because in the first part of the story, the GA-ST-1, the Pope of Laterano sent out an invitation to most of the nations. So this is kind of like all the leaders of the nations going in to discuss things. Seeing Yuktian talk like this is pretty great. Off to a great start. Hello, Super Brave Cat. Nice to see you here. We're reading from Guiding Ahead at GA-1 before the battle still. So we're not too far along. The brown tails are in the story because the Pope of Laterano invited most of the leaders to have a conference, basically. So the different higher ups of each nation not getting along kind of makes sense. What an NPC name. Okay. Yeah, this event's NPC names are amazing. Serious nurse. Well, they really made the hospital attendant live up to her name. Enforcer's like, I am saved! You know, just wearing a brown coat just instantly makes you more suspicious. In in video game stories, just wear dark clothes or rusted out clothes. Oh, he's suspicious. They're up to something, all right. Hmm. Well, we'll just have to keep reading and to find out. Because I don't know. Ooh, Enforcer already knows what's going on, probably. It was totally the brown jacket that gave him away. Yeah, the music is really good in this event. So I just quickly noted a potential clip video idea. So without further ado, let's get into GA-1 after the battle. So like I said at the beginning, if you have any ideas of like anything you can think of that you would like me to do to spice up the reading, so to speak, without reading every single voice line, just let me know in the chat. Hello. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have trouble saying your name. Luisto. Nice to see you here. We're starting to read GA-1 after. A wheelchair rapid firing contest? What? Was up to chapter 2, or yeah, the beginning of the main story of Arknights is pretty slow moving. Yeah, the true definition of gaming chair. Oh wow. And I think Lumen showed up somewhere also. I'd be even happier if someone learned how to say a few nice. Nice to see you here, Mr. Clever Trick. Yeah, that's definitely a thing, and a sizable a good reason why I make the story clips is to help players out that don't have time to read the story, because while the story is good, it's a very sizable time commitment. So I'm hoping my videos have been helping you out. What did Lumen say? Okay. Hello, Symphony. Nice to see you here. Yeah, I'm trying my best with the story clips, and I'm glad that you enjoy them. Mustima doesn't like horn rubs. Lumen is playable. I kinda doubt it, considering how disabled she sounds like she is. Mustima fans, she doesn't like horn rubs. Don't even think about it. To be fair, though, Nightingale in the Near Light event was crippled, and yet she's playable, so... I mean, you never know, I guess. But I highly doubt it. Oh, is that the reason? And also, nice to see you here, Reza. We are currently on GA-1 after the battle. Um, I'm not entirely sure, but I would say Doma from Mansfield Break could be playable. Besides that, I don't really know at the moment. Oh yeah, Shining getting a guard altar, I would suspect that's gonna happen eventually. Especially since Hypergriff seems to be doing altars for the vast majority of limited operators, so I'm sure they'll get to her eventually. Um, Logos and Ascalon, I'm not sure. I don't remember where those two characters appear. The Arknights wiki has all of the NPCs on there, at least up until the current event in global. I'm not sure about Game Press. They probably do too. Yeah, I really like the new NPC designs too. Even the not as important one, the Laterano citizens, they have quite good designs too, in my opinion. Hello, Drexter. Nice to see you here. We are currently on GA-1 after the battle for reading the story. Well, you might have to look through, like, by, well, If you know the names of the NPCs, you should be able to find them. Or at least the major NPCs. Thanks for stopping by, Drexter. Have a good day at college. Well, here we get to see Patia. Doesn't she look a lot like La Pluma? Like, she looks very, very close to La Pluma. That's... La Pluma undercover. Yeah, she kind of looks like Greythroat to an extent, like a younger Greythroat, maybe. Yeah, like a more normal attire for La Pluma. Wow, Enforcer's doing some work. Yeah, dramatic music. Milner was introduced in the Maria Neural event. And then he was a big part of the Near Light event. So basically the two major Kazmir's events. Possibly. I will admit that this is this is a pretty great expression from Patia. Yeah, Mr. Heroic, I agree. And why is it that like every character's surprise face is hilarious? Yeah, that's... Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to read more to find out. Oh yeah, that's true. I have already done all of the farmable stages here. So, I mean, I already know the boss is this guy. And on the wiki, I saw his like in story sprite, and his chibi just doesn't do him justice. He is such a cool design, but in this form, like, you don't really see that, which is a shame in my opinion. But all right, Super Brave Cat, we're going to. Well, I'm gonna start GA-1 or GA-2. Yeah, the on stream I actually beat him without using true damage. But I watched I watched a guide too, just to have a stable auto deploy, and you basically have to use true damage on him, which is kind of annoying. Like, because of his field giving 50% physical and arts dodge, as well as the reduced physical and arts damage taken, if you use true damage, he doesn't dodge, so every hit is gonna hit. And then it ignores these stats, obviously, so he's actually really easy to take out with true damage. And I feel like the physical and arts dodge was really unnecessary for him. He just makes it really annoying unless you use true damage, which is... Like, I'm fine with the reduced damage taken, it's the dodge that I have an issue with. That makes him too annoying. Because I really like Arknights in that usually they do a good balancing on their bosses, where like there's one where there might be strats that they're weak to, but I feel like Andoane does like so heavily into true damage. You have to really be either lucky or have such insane damage to deal with the dodge and reduce damage combination. Yeah, Symphony, I wouldn't be surprised if there's more and more bosses that do dodge, because we're getting operators that ignore dodge, like Fartooth and stuff. Oh, hey Sora, thanks for coming. Yeah, Ling would obviously be really good because she does the arts damage per 0.5 seconds or whatever. And yeah, Mia and Calcit are... Well, actually, Calcit is the easiest way to take him out, but Mia works too. I don't remember what her module does. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if like for true damage, like within a single duration of Calcit's skill, you can take him out. Take out each phase. So he's not really hard, it's just that they pretty much force you to use true damage in order to take him out easily. Which I have a problem with. The dodge specifically makes it so that dealing anything other than true damage is not super effective. Well, that's... Oh, okay. But his gimmick area of effect is pretty huge though. So I mean, it's like a quarter of the stage depending on where he activates them. It is similar to Emperor's Blade, but I like Emperor's Blade a lot more personally. I actually liked figuring out Emperor's Blade gimmick. Because Emperor's Blade is more about really knowing positioning and how to play around that, whereas Anduin, he cannot be blocked or stunned or anything, so it's doesn't feel the same. So without further ado, let's get started with GA-2 before. Continue on with the story here. Well, the blade, yeah, I do agree the blade is probably was specifically designed to be against Suitor. I don't really... I actually liked his gimmick quite a bit. I like bosses that that are better at making you think about different strategies, but for Anduin, the dodge is too much. Like, the reduced physical and arts damage is fine. It's just the dodge. Having that RNG, whether or not your attacks hit, is pretty annoying. Yeah, for a new player, I agree, yeah. And Blood Knight is definitely a... you need to have pretty high stats on the operators that tank him in order to do Blood Knight effectively. So for new players, that's really hard. Or even for players like me, if I don't use like the more meta operators, that can be frustrating, or he can be hard to deal with that way too. I did not start day 1. I started roughly 6 months after day 1. So I've been playing for 2 years. Yeah, I would suspect so. For like most of the like leaders of the Sancta are definitely chill guys. Yeah, I have been consistently playing too. Um, Favorite event? That's kind of hard to say, because I enjoy most of the Arknights events. I really like that each one typically has a gimmick of some kind that makes the gameplay interesting and favoring various different operators over others, and it makes it fresh that way. But when it comes to favorite events, that's kind of hard to say, because like the one that standed out to me the most was probably the Twilight of Waldemod, or however you say that. Walunde. And that's purely because it was one of the first events that really stood out to me when I was first playing and got me interested in the gameplay. So it's mostly for nostalgia factor. And I really liked the Gamophone gimmick. But most of the events I do enjoy for that. Oh, it started near the end of Nearlight? Okay. Yeah, Yeah, I don't think that there's enough there for a clip video though. But that is funny though, because in the first story, Mostima says her real name, and then she just does that. Like, okay. Oh yeah, the Rainbow Six event is, yeah. I liked the gimmick of Rainbow Six Siege, but I really didn't like the boss. But I will admit that was probably like one of the only events that made Splashcasters really good. Otherwise, they're kind of meh overall. Yeah, the outfits or designs in this event are really good. Well, Mr. Heroic, the thing with Tech, however you say his name, I'm sorry. Tech chant. Okay. Anyway, the guy you're talking about, I'm sorry. Um, he is extremely powerful with like insane buffs, but if he doesn't have buffs, then he's not that impressive. If that makes sense, he scales. He's kind of like Guard Chen, sort of, where there's a really high scaling with buffs, but without buffs, they're not incredible. Yeah, sometimes I just can't say certain names for some reason. I can formulate them in my head, but not formulate it with my mouth. So well, yeah, the yes, he has he doesn't have super high attack, but he has really good attack speed, especially with his skill. So if you do attack speed scaling, like with Ak and stuff, um, and attack buffs, he does really well in those scenarios. Yeah, Rainbow Six Siege was a really good story for a collab, but yeah, the boss is awful. Probably my least favorite boss, or yeah, least favorite boss out of that I have faced. Right, yeah. Yeah, Sora. Essence of Evolution is probably like the only boss where I absolutely despised it. But like for an example, the Anduin event or boss for this event, even though that I don't like how he is so difficult to take out with physical and arts damage, so he favors true damage. I still don't mind him that much. It's just I just don't like the RNG from the dodging. Like same thing with Phantom to some extent. Is that dodging is just like having that RNG on your hits is really annoying. But like figuring out that he is weak to true damage is kind of where the fun is, I guess. It's just kind of a shame that I figured that out by watching a guide instead. And also, Sora, there is like a few other nitpicks that I don't like about Arknights, but they are pretty much just nitpicks for the most part. So Like overall, like Arknights as a whole is one of those games where I really don't have very many things I don't like about it. Which is a big reason why I'm an Arknights content creator, so. Yeah, son, I agree. That's kind of what I was thinking when I was getting advertisements for the game when it first came out. I was thinking that Arknights was just your average fan service anime game, and that's a big reason why I didn't play it on day one, was because a lot of the advertisements didn't tell me anything about the game whatsoever, or they would try to advertise the summer skins and stuff. And that, as a first impression, was a big red flag. So it's something else, I have to say. Like, for when it comes to anime games in general, like Arknights, as we know, is not very fan servicey at all in those terms, and that is a big reason why I stuck with it, because if Arknights was like as fan servicey as some of the other anime games, I probably wouldn't be playing the game today, even if I enjoyed the story and gameplay. Because that's one of my pet peeves of anime games in general, is that they might have good stuff, but then they overemphasize or have too much fan service in it, and that really irritates me. Anime as well, anime in general, that can do that a lot. Yeah, the Arknights ads are probably the worst advertisements that I've ever seen. Like, they aren't even so bad they're funny. They're just there, and they give you absolutely no information or no reason to find out more information about what the game is about when it first came out. Like, the promotional videos give you more information than their advertisements do, basically. And that's just sad. Because that doesn't even show gameplay. Well, actually, I suppose it shows a little bit of gameplay on the ads, but not, or in the promotional video, but not a lot. Super Brave Cat, do you mean the Arknights advertisements? Yeah, they were extremely bad. And in pretty much every way. Like, they misrepresented core systems like recruitment and the training center, and even gameplay in some regards, instead of showing actual gameplay sometimes. So, even if you got into the game, there was a lot of things that wouldn't be familiar to you based on the advertisements, and then the advertisements don't give you enough information about what it even is about. Like, if you were to ask me what genre Arknights is, I wouldn't have been able to tell you it was a tower defense game purely based on the advertisements I had seen. I mean, maybe I could have assumed it based on, like, the one or two gameplay ads that I've seen, but I didn't care enough to find out or confirm that. Like they would, yeah, for the recruitment one was probably the worst, especially when they would show like, oh, you can get Elite 2 Schwartz from recruitment. It's like, that's not how that works. And you can't just choose whichever tag whenever you feel like it. You have to choose from the tags that you are given, so it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I did a video on watching Arknights advertisements if you're really curious enough to see how bad they are. I'm not sure if Arknights does too many advertisements anymore. I kind of doubt it, unless it's their PVs, promotional videos that they do for every event. Maybe those are seen as advertisements, but I haven't really gotten any, but at the same time, I don't really see a lot of advertisements in general, so I'm not really the person to ask for that. Yeah, YouTubers advertise Arknights a lot better than the actual advertisements. And yeah, I haven't seen Top Operator for a long time either. Arknights is not my only gacha game, but it is the primary one that I care about. If that makes sense. Like, I sometimes hop onto the phone game that gave me advertisements for Arknights, and that's technically a gacha game, but I don't really play that anymore. And then there's one other one, but Arknights is the main one that I care about. So I'm not really all that interested in gacha games in general. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure they played a big part. Japan did had virtual YouTubers do a bunch of their advertising too when the game first came out, and I'm sure that was, or when Global came out, so I'm sure that helped Japan get a foothold into the game, or get the game a foothold in Japan. Alright. Yeah, Hololive did a big part on that, and it kind of sounds like for a few other gacha games too. Yeah, exactly, Sora. That's my favorite part too. Like I said before, if Arknights had a lot of fan service, like in your face fan service, and even more, let's say, revealing fan service, then I probably wouldn't be playing the game today. I probably would have either lost interest or would have had enough of that and quit by, like, after a few months, if that was the case. Because that is a huge pet peeve of mine in anime related stuff in general. And yeah, Paragon, the world building is really good too. They have really interesting world building, and that is a big reason why I got into the story of Arknights. Is the world building that they presented. I wasn't really interested in what was actually going on with the main characters, because it seemed like a lot of the story bits of in the beginning of the game, they were more interested in showing off the world building rather than actually what the characters were specifically doing. So that, I guess that kind of helped in that regard, but I didn't really care about the main plot until like chapter 4 or chapter 5. And some of the big events, like for Ace, for an example, when he sacrifices himself at the beginning of the story, for a while I forgot exactly how that even happened. Like, I thought something else happened to him that he sacrificed himself for, and not specifically what he actually does. And that's kind of the thing. And also, when I first started the game, I was in a point in my life where I wasn't really retaining a lot of the stuff I was reading either in the story. So a lot of the moments at the beginning of the game, like, I have a general idea of what happens, but not specifics, if that makes sense. And if you want to find out more, I did make a video a while ago of how I got into Arknights, which explains more on that. Yeah, Azur Lane is definitely one of those games that is an interesting idea, but the amount of fan service in it is enough to make it so that I would never touch that game ever. Yeah, me and Sacred did watch the anime, but we were kind of going into it of seeing like, oh, let's see how bad it is type of mentality, or like, how bad could it be mentality, rather than like really caring, I guess. And it was actually surprisingly okay for what it was, all things considered. Yeah, Blaze is a really good character. Well, yeah, that's also a good point too, is that Azur Lane does that too. It's just but it's just like the fan service in general, even for the older characters, is just way too ridiculous for me to ever even think about stepping close to that game. I mean, there are some genuinely good characters that I think are great. It's just that I like, but in general, it's a game I would never play. An English teacher, huh, Sora? So you get to teach people how to do proper English. Gotta have that right punctuation and everything. Yeah, I remember those days. Oh, literature teacher? Yeah. Gotta teach Romeo and Juliet. The classics. The plot thickens. Yeah. Yeah, Paragon, I agree. Arknights does a lot better job on making me more invested in the characters too. And we're still on the before. This is being a lot longer than I expected. Yeah, like I said before multiple times, the designs in this event, even for the non-important characters, I really like how they did the sprites for those. They're really good. Wow. Look at this. Come on, even I have feelings. Wow, that's the first I've heard of that. Wow. That... And yeah, we're still on the before operation. This is see moments like this. This is the main reason why I actually read the story, is to find moments like these and make clips of them. And that was the kind of the thing when I made my very first clip before I dedicated to it, was that in A Walk in the Dust, I found a really funny moment about Calcit, and I made a video on it, and it kind of went viral after a number of months to have a large number of views. And it was just kind of one of those things where I was like, this is a really funny moment, I have to share this. Like, why is no one talking about this? And that led to me over time to doing this. So but otherwise, the story is so long that reading a summary of the story gives you a good enough idea of what happens, where it saves you a lot of time while also having an idea for the event. But then you get to miss out on moments like this. And yeah, exactly, that's who knew Arknights needed a story clipper, right? Yeah, we did get sidetracked. Sorry about that. I was kind of hoping to get near the end of the event, but at this rate, I don't think that's gonna happen. Probably gonna stop at like GA-4 or something, or even before then. I think it depends. Lucido, it depends, but a big reason why Arknight's story feels, even though it is long, the thing with Arknights is that you're reading visual novel content. So if you're playing like Genshin or something like that, that has a 3D environment when doing their cutscenes, it doesn't feel as bad. Whereas when you're just reading visual novel content, it just feels like it takes longer. It's like reading a book. So if you don't read often or enjoy reading long bits of text, then Arknight's story is hard to get into. Even though I think it's really good. Yeah, also the story for the events are limited and are not usually connected with each other, so if you want to know what happens, you have to read the story, so, or at least read it later, I guess. Look at this man's outfit. This this design feels like it's from like an anime from the 80s. And that's the hall officer. Okay. Like, look at this man. He has old school art design right here. And the smile. Yeah, son, I didn't quite read it before. Yeah, Arknights story as well, there are plenty of moments where they go way too over the top on exposition about certain things. So that's definitely difficult as well. Is that they have it's visual novel plus a lot of words and stuff. So that's yeah, that's another reason why doing clips of the highlights is such a big thing. Or is appealing, I should say. Oh yeah, there is a typewriter in the background. Laterano has technology. A typewriter with a monitor. What? And that face. Why does that look so hilarious? They are really nailing the expressions in this event. Wow. Yeah, I might I might have to do a community post of that face. That is too good. I don't know what I'm gonna title it, but just be like, say something along the lines of, Dusk fan makes video on how Dusk is terrible and then show his face. Or how terrible Dusk's module is. Because I bet that was surprising if you didn't know that video was coming out. Or when I made that. Angel Wear typewriter. And I was actually kind of surprised on that the Dusk module video got more attention than I expected, considering that there wasn't like a Dusk event going on or anything. Or a Sui sibling event going on. Yeah, wait, when did they give him a name? Oh, okay, here we go. I was about to say, when did he start being called a specific name, but and we're still on GA-2 before. Yeah, the tax man. Yeah, there's actually quite a bit of variety in the Sancta designs. Especially in the wing color. Like, I think Ambriel's was like greenish, Exia's white, and stuff like that. So they have some good variation there. Here we go. You people should learn how to spy a little bit more subtly. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, Executor is he's all business. The Sancta that have black halos are ones who broke the commandments. So like the Sancta, from what I understand, is that they have a set of commandments that they have to follow, basically like their rules. And if any of them break any of those major rules, then their halo and wings turn black, as far as I'm aware, and possibly grow horns. So Mastima is one of those, like fallen Sancta as they're referred to. Yeah, it probably is explained in the story. Well, that is just as far as I know, heroic. Because in Mastima's Elite 2 art, she... Well, I guess even in her normal art, she has a halo. Oh, okay. That makes sense. So let's get started in GA-2 after. That was a whole lot longer than I was expecting, to be honest. For a non-dedicated story bit there. Oh, is that it, Sora? That does make sense. But surprisingly, I'm not actually like super knowledgeable about the Arknights like general lore. I'm more of a... I pay more attention to like the funny moments rather than like the very specific lore moments. Like, I try to pay attention as best I can, but there's inevitably stuff that I miss. So let's just say the like the funny moments and stuff like stand out to me more than like the lore bit. So if I'm just generally reading, I'm probably gonna miss some of it. Or if it's like implied stuff. And on many of these longer bits, like, it's kind of hard to think of stuff to like do commentary on, which I suppose is probably fine. That is like general story stuff, so I don't really have a reaction to it. So I'm just gonna be like silent for 5-10 minutes at a time if if that's the case. Yeah, that was a yeah, I really like the Laterano woman citizen sprite. I really like that design. Also, if I didn't mention before, if there's any crackling in my microphone, just let me know, because apparently unplugging it and replugging it fixes that issue. And I'm kind of shocked that if that hasn't been a problem for the past 2 hours, that is very shocking to me. Yeah, that is very surprising, because before it was like every 30 minutes that something would, the crackling would show up, so. And I haven't done anything different this time around. Well, that's good to hear. Thank you. Yeah, and we're still on GA-2 after. Considering everything, I'm actually pretty surprised that Patia wasn't a boss so far. Well, I mean, judging on what has happened so far. Having her as like a mid-boss. Yeah, kind of. Paragon, I agree. I mean, it kind of sounds like she doesn't like the Sancta just because they aren't what she thought they were supposed to be. Based on stereotypes from her nation. I'm not sure, son, because Mastima talked directly to the Pope, so I'm pretty sure she's fine. Like, if Mastima was not supposed to come back, that wouldn't make any sense. Why she's just able to talk to the Pope like that. Mr. Heroic, do you remember where that is stated? Is that in Code of Brawl, or is that like CN lore? Because I don't recall reading that. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but I just don't recall reading that specifically. Oh, okay. See, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like specific details like that, I might miss. Whereas, like the general idea of Code of Brawl, I understand. If that makes sense. Plus, I didn't do videos on Code of Brawl yet. I don't think so. That probably doesn't help in that regard. Oh, okay. Here we go. Here we go. The best ellipse line. got enough dots there. Yeah, I would imagine Mr. Heroic. Yeah, lower characters roasting each other. I agree. That's the best moments. Near the end of Near Light, I was calling it Near Roast. It was just so hilarious on some of those scenes. Hmm. Yeah, the platinum roast scenes were absolutely hilarious. Yeah, we're still on GA-2 after as well. Speaking of which, a fun fact is that I have like 37 clips of Near Light, so if you would like to revisit it, there you go. Yeah, that that is definitely something. So we just finished GA-2 after, right? Thanks. So starting GA-3 before. I think Drexter said it was like this event was supposedly like 3 hours, which we've been reading for a good bit of over 2 hours, and we're only at GA-3. That I know we've gotten sidetracked a little bit, but I genuinely thought we would be further along than this. Oh, the mic is okay. Is it good? Yeah, thanks for telling me. It's as soon as you hear crackling, let me know, and usually unplugging it and replugging it fixes it. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. Well, I would hope that this event would be shorter than Invitation to Wine, but yeah, that is definitely something. I do like the music for this event for a lot. Okay. Well, I'm not really a super fast reader either. Um, and this is pretty funny too, but not enough to make a video on, I don't think. Like if they had like one or two more lines, then I would think about making a video on it. But since it's only four, um, I'm not planning on doing that. Well, that's really good to hear that it's one of well, anytime that I have a shorter event that doesn't have a lot of clips is actually makes it a lot easier on me to figure out which videos to make, so I don't mind that at all. Yeah, I'm sure there is, Paragon. I'll get there when I get there. Now this is what I'm talking about. So if like this was like just to have a little bit of insight on like clip ideas that I do is that if this was with the beginning part here, I would probably make a video on it. If these two sections were together, I mean, I could technically just edit out the middle part and just do a video like Orin trolling Fia Meta or something like that, and then do like this line to here, these 5 lines, and then these 4 lines right here. So I don't think I'll make a video on it, but that's just like to give you a general idea if you're curious. That's some of the things that I think about when I'm putting down notes. So yeah, like Orin and Fia Meta messing with each other, like that's definitely like if it was in one section, then I probably would have made a video on it, but and I technically still could, but I'm not going to worry about it this time. The next event is, I think, chapter 10 of the main story comes out, and then it's 3-year anniversary, I want to say, or something like that. I don't remember. Yeah, I look forward to reading that, Larry. And I'll see when I get there to figure out which ones I think are how to do videos on it. If it stands out to me. Yeah, I think Solifteria should be the next one, next major event. And I'm hoping it's a little bit away, like a little bit of a good amount of time away just to get more pulls for Spectre Altar. Did they call the 3-year anniversary the Golden Age will return again? That would explain why I see like videos titled that. Oh, okay. Oh, is the Walk in the Dust rerun before the 3-year anniversary event? Or, Saltifera? However you say that? Because if that's the case, that would be great. Or even if it's after, that would be great too, just because I would probably be out of polls by then from the banner, so yes, Calcit, that is Calcit's event and Passenger's event. And considering that the very first clip that I made was from A Walk in the Dust, that's going to be very interesting rereading that and look for more clip ideas for it. Actually, now that you mention it, the Pope kind of does look like Gaben in his old age, doesn't he? If he had a longer beard and thicker hair. See, more moments like this of characters just messing with trolling each other. Even if they're not video worthy, I still enjoy it. Well, thanks for stopping by, Velvet Cake. Thanks for coming. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I'll do timestamps after I finish. After the stream is done. So if you want to revisit it at all. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for coming, Mr. Hoek. Nice to see you here. Have a good rest of your day, too. Thanks for stopping by. The plot thickens. Oh yeah, yeah, Paragon. If there's a storm, stay safe. Donut? Oh yes. Give the children all the donuts. No wonder they have dessert vendors everywhere. You can be happy that all of those annoying dessert truck enemies that you face in the stages are providing joy to all of the children of Laterano. Wow, these outfits. So they did have a sprite for the normal enemies that you face in the stages. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's a melee guy, or at the of the basic enemies, or at the very least, the enemies are like Sancta versions of them with the same outfit. Okay, is it good now? Yeah, the microphone was good for 2 hours, and then it's like, nope, we're gonna have crackling again. Just so bizarre. Alright, so I'm gonna do GA-3 after, and then probably end the stream there, considering how long these stages have been, surprisingly. I was expecting at least the beginning of the event story to be not as long as this, even with our sidetracked stuff. Yeah, they need to look cool. Yeah, exactly. Handoane. Wow, the the Pope here is just going, back in my day. You could say that. Oh, I remember this conversation like it was yesterday. All those 8 years ago. Take a seat while I explain to you all of these memories of back then. That is definitely an interesting church design. Like having the rings right here. Cecilia is the young kid with Enforcer. Lumen was the one in the wheelchair. So Cecilia is this girl here. Well, I guess my mouse isn't accurate, but this is Cecilia. Yeah, Enforcer is a really good character. I just for me personally, looking at his skills, I don't really know what I would use him for, considering I have Weedy, Elite 2 and everything. His talent is kind of weird too, because he doesn't get attack bonuses, I don't think, with his skills, and yet his talent ignores defense. It's weird to me. Oh, his skill too? Is it because it does a really long duration stun? Oh, right, yeah. He pushes enemies in the directions he's facing, right? which is fairly unique for pushers. Probably still not an operator I would use personally, but at least he is unique in that way. See, look at this man's sprite. Actually, his eyes don't have a lot of color, but besides that, look at his design compared to his chibi. Like, this man is dressed for the occasion, to say the least. And yet his chibi, like, even though it's good, like his boss chibi is good, it just doesn't do this design justice. He might be, but I would guess it's more like a book, like a scriptures. Oh, well, GA-3 after was actually shorter than I expected. So to finish things off here, I'm going to do an auto deploy of the boss stage. So if you're having trouble with the boss stage, use Castoramia or Calcit, pretty much. And he's very, very easy then. But yeah, overall thoughts on the event. I really liked the gimmick of the stages. I think that was really well done. And the design of everything was awesome. I really like the theming here. For the story though, well, as of right now, we haven't seen enough of like why Cecilia is as big of a deal. In my opinion, like, yeah, she's special, but why does everyone want her? So yeah, here you can see Monster just taking him out really easy. And then first phase done. And then I just have Amiya here just to have, like, assurance to get rid of him as fast as possible. Yeah, Fartooth is really good here too, because she ignores dodge. Like, any operator that ignores dodge is going to be really useful here. But yeah, he's done already. So... And then I also use Monster to get rid of the really tanky desert trucks. But overall, I am really liking the story. They have enough in there. I think definitely since which event was it? There was one specific event, like from then on, I feel like Hypergriff did a much better job on like having a better balance between having a serious plot while also having characters troll each other and roast each other. And so I think they continue that trend in this event, having a pretty good balance there. And then, for reference, we finished up GA-3. So next is GA-4. So yeah, I don't think I'm really far enough into it to necessarily get like a... Well, I kind of know the general premise now, but not really like an entire grasp of it enough to be like, yeah, I really enjoyed this plot or not. I'll leave that for the later stages to explain. But before we end it here, just to have a little bit of discussion. So, how do you guys like the format here for reading the story? Like, is this working for you? Is there any suggestions you thought of while I was doing the event? Or while I was reading here that you thought of? And also the other question is that would you guys enjoy me reading the rest of the story in another stream? Because I was planning on roughly 3 hours to have for Sacred to be able to go to bed at a reasonable time before work on Monday. So I was really expecting to get to like GA-5 or GA-6 in this stream, but we did get a little bit of sidetracked talking about things. But overall, what are your thoughts on how this is going? Because I wasn't intending on doing a second stream for reading the story, because I figured that I would be further along. So if I was at like GA-6, if I got GA-6 done, or started at GA-7, then it would be like, well, I'm just going to read the rest of this on my own and then do it, but we only got GA-3 done, which is not as much as I had anticipated. So oh, that's good, son. That was kind of my idea on doing this in general, was that if you normally don't read the story because of any reason, and you have the time and you want to read it with me, that was the whole goal of this stream in general. So I'm glad it worked out for you, and you enjoyed it. But overall, thoughts on possibly doing another stream of this, or how I'm doing it? Is this working for you? Or should I just go ahead and read it by myself? Okay. Yeah, like I said before, Super Brave Cat, I'm not super into specific lore on things, but reading it for like the funny moments is primarily what I get out of it, and then also like getting to understand the main plot is good. Like having, I don't know, I guess really getting into the story is kind of like a side effect, or a side goal rather than like really getting into the funny moments between characters and stuff. Well, that's good. For, yeah, discussing while reading the story, I do like doing that. Yeah, to some extent, I agree with that, Reza, for, like, visual novels really let your imagination fill in the gaps between things. So just as kind of like a count, how many of you would be interested in me reading the rest of the story on another stream? I don't know when I would be able to do that. But if I were to do another stream, how many of you would be interested in me doing another stream like this, reading more of the story? And also, would it matter to you if I read part of it on my own, if I ran out of story clips or something, for an example? Because if I ran out, then I might read like GA-4 or GA-5 and then read 6 through ST-2 on my own. Okay. And also, it would probably be at the time that I started today, so 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time, because that works well for Sacred, because he's working during the week. So over the weekend I could do it in the morning for me, but I think doing it in the evening on like a Sunday or a weekday works best for him. So there's that. So if that all makes sense. Yeah, exactly, son. That is my thinking. It's an interesting story, but it's long. Oh, okay. Makes sense. And that's perfectly fine too. Like, if you're only able to stop by for a little bit of it, then I'm just happy to see people drop by and, you know, say hi. Because, well, I don't know, just how I view myself of the thought of watching me for 3 hours reading the story and stuff is just, to me personally, I don't think very highly of myself. So if I make it entertaining, then that's mission accomplished. Yeah, Kelson is the one managing the text. So one thing.
What's your name again? Oh, Doctor.
So one last thing I do want to mention too is that just as kind of like a fun fact, is that when it I wanted to mention when it comes to Dusk's module, since I mentioned, I made a video on how I didn't really care for Dusk's module all that much, and also in the previous stream I talked about I did get it and everything, and I actually read her module, and honestly, if you are interested in Dusk, I would say if you are interested in hearing about the backstory of her creating Free, then either read it on the wiki or, in my mind, just the lore alone is worth the 2D32 steel and 80,000 LMD, but I just thought that I'd throw that out there. Just because I mentioned it in the previous stream that I did. And I haven't gotten W's module yet. I'll probably get that when the EX stages come out. Because I have a little bit of ways to go on hers. So, to wrap everything up, I don't know when I'll have to discuss with Sacred when he would want to do another stream if we're going to do it. And we'll see how it goes, and I'll have an update on one of the community posts whenever we figure that out, just like I did with today's community post mentioning the stream being scheduled and everything. And hopefully I can keep you guys updated if you're interested in stopping by again, or if I decide to just read it on my own. Either way, I'll hopefully give updates for that and everything, and if anything changes. So with that being said, I think that wraps everything up. So thank you very much for everyone stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the stream, reading the story, and like I said before, I'll keep you guys updated if I plan another one. So have a good rest of your day, guys. See you next time.
Bye.